But look, we're talking to the commander of Ipswich Research, historian, Harold H. P. Cockadiddle-doo. He's going to tell us all about a story about the 1866 Great Ipswich Wedding Dress Theft. G'day there. G'day, Harold.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, good morning, Danny. You've always been telling me there's too many people dying in Ipswich history, so this is a bit different, this one.
Well, let's get into it, eh? I'll leave it over to you.
Yeah, look, it was in June 1866. Ruth Burton, now she was from County Wicklow in Ireland, she was brought up at the Ipswich Police Court charged with having stolen a cheque of £2, 4 shillings and threepence.
Is that all?
Now, that's about $2,300 today, Danny.
Oh.
So, you know, it's still a fair amount. Now, she was committed to stand trial in the Supreme Court. Now, Ruth had stolen the cheque off a work colleague called Julia Bannon. Now, Ruth was a kitchen maid and Julia a servant at the Clarendon Hotel on Brisbane Street at the corner of East Street. Now, the hotel's not there anymore, so don't go looking because it was burnt down 150 years ago. But back then, the licensee was John Hooper, who had previously run the Bush Inn at Fassifern, and his wife, Jane Hooper, managed the staff, and she was the one who wrote the cheque. Now, well, and by the way, Mrs. Hooper later ran the refreshment rooms at the Ipswich railway station. But anyway, Ruth had only been working at the Clarendon for a week, and during that time, she regularly used Julia's room to wash and get dressed in. Now, one time, you know, she looked inside an unlocked box and there was a glove, and underneath the glove was a cheque. And look, Julia took both, and with the cheque, she went down to the shop, to the TC Bishop & Co store. That's where she bought a number of items, which she paid for using the cheque, and even got some change. Now, the proprietor, Mr. Bishop, quizzed Julia where she got the cheque from, which she said was for wages at the Clarendon Hotel, which simply was not true. She pinched it. Now, Julia noticed her cheque missing, reported it to the police, and the crime was promptly traced back to Ruth Burton. And so on the 6th of August 1866, Ruth appeared in the Supreme Court criminal sitting in Ipswich before the Honourable James Cockle, who was the first Chief Justice of Queensland, and a jury of 12. She faced a jury for this crime. Now, the jury retired and returned in just 10 minutes with a verdict of guilty. Now, the Chief Justice sentenced Ruth to 5 weeks imprisonment in Brisbane jail for £2. But what's interesting is that the jury's guilty verdict came with a recommendation of mercy. The prosecuting police constables, incredibly, they gave the accused very good character witness statements. His Honour Justice Cockle, after taking some time for consideration of these recommendations, he even said he was sorry to pass sentence. And the term would definitely have been a long one, a lot longer than 5 weeks, if it wasn't for those recommendations. You see, Ruth Burton, she was just 17 years old. And she was engaged to be married. She stole the glove to wear at a wedding. The shop she visited was a drapery store, and the material she bought was actually for her wedding dress. Now, this was a true Victorian tragedy, Danny, and the wedding was forced to be delayed because the bride was in jail. You know? So anyway, Ruth did get married 6 weeks after getting out of jail. It was on the 18th of December, 1866, at the Wesleyan Parsonage in Ipswich by the Reverend William Hill, who had just actually arrived in Ipswich after being a missionary in Tonga. Now, Ruth's husband was Mr. William Parfitt from Surrey in England. She married well. The Parfitts settled at Mount Brisbane over near Esk and had 10 children. Sadly, 3 died before adulthood, and a daughter married a man with a penchant for gambling with loaded dice. But other than that, the wedding dress theft of 1866 had a very happy ending. And isn't that great, Danny? A happy ending for once?
A happy ending? Normally after you get the dress off. Now, how do we find out about this story and many, many more?
Yes, you can go to my website, historyouthere.com. There's about 250 short stories about Ipswich there, but about 400 or 500 overall. So historyouthere.com.
Actually, a bloke this morning, he's the picker. Is that what he calls himself?
That would be Craig, our number one follower, Craig, the Muddy Creek picker.
Yeah, Craig. Yeah, he commented, was looking forward to your story. And Craig, thanks for tuning in, because you're a good person. We like you. All right, well,
yes,
now...
and everyone else down there at Muddy Creek, they're great supporters.
Get out and take some...
I have seen them chanting your name in the morning.
I want them to get out and record themselves doing the and send it through on your Facebook site, historyouthere.com.
That'll be good. Let's do it, Craig. I'm waiting for it.
Come on. Thanks a lot, mate. Appreciate you being on the program. Talk to you next week right here at West Bremer Radio. It's 8:21, 19 degrees outside. Take it away, big fella.